reach out. Reach out to a professional if necessary. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
reach out to other women or men
Mhm.
that you admire and look up to, or hear that, hey, they've been through this or that,
Yeah.
and try not to get stuck in that victim mood. And that's not to negate anyone who has been a victim in any way, and not to, minimize what they've been through.
Right.
But if try not to get stuck there, and try not to question.
Right.
Try not to.
Too much.
you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and
A
that kind of
journal can
ties.
help me.
Oh, a journal. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Journals are
Uh-huh.
fabulous, aren't they?
Journal can help me a lot. They
Yeah.
are. They truly are. It helped me
And,
a lot. It helped me immensely as
and
well.
and now, and a lot of people, when people say, oh, you hear somebody say, well, I was listening to my higher self, and another person will say, oh, well, that's interesting. I don't have a higher self. But how can we listen to our higher selves? I mean, are there things we can do to sharpen our abilities?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And yoga is one of them, right? I mean,
It
honestly, I
is. It
feel
really
yoga
is.
is,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Meditation, your breath, meditation, I feel overall helps people relax. It helps them quiet their mind. It teaches them how to breathe, focus on your breath, gives that
Mm-hmm.
monkey mind a job,
Yeah.
and it helped me personally, like, differentiate, what was my voice, what was my thoughts, and what was my higher self, or the divine, the
Yeah.
divine's wisdom,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we all have that within us. So it helps us listen and puts us in touch, making that time to connect with that
Hmm.
part of ourselves.
And
It
that,
will help you
yeah.
discern better. Yeah.
And
Go
that
ahead.
actually ties into with the next question I had to you, actually, because you write, the effects of fear had created an illusion that kept me paralyzed. If someone wants to shake their fear, meditation, yoga, that's one way they can do it. And is that true, or are there any other
Absolutely.
things? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, just do it anyway.
yeah.
Do it anyway. Ask yourself, you know, what would be the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
And okay, that could be the worst thing that happened. Okay. So what?
Hmm.
And I know
Yeah.
that sounds so simple, but just do it anyway. Do it anyway. And in situations, where, God forbid, there's emotional abuse going on, or physical abuse, for instance,
Hmm.
then you
Hmm.
have to get support. So I just want to cover that,
Yeah,
and not
absolutely.
oversimplify things
Yeah. Yeah.
there.
Um,
But yeah, definitely the
um,
yoga, the meditation.
and
Go ahead.
talking to somebody, perhaps, right?
Yes, absolutely. Reach out. Yes,
But
reach
we can,
out.
we can be our
The-
own worst
Go ahead.
enemies, though, right? We can literally abuse
Oh my
ourselves,
gosh.
right?
Well, absolutely. Yes. I mean, absolutely. And this can come from from many places, honestly. We can be our own worst enemy.
Hmm.
And, if you're stuck, it comes to a point for most people, when they're stuck like that. That's what I mean about creating an illusion. You feel like you're in that illusion when the reality is that you really do have the power to, and I'm going to use this as an analogy, like lift off your chains and walk away.
Yes. Yes.
Limit yourself, limit exposure to negative people. And it's, some people live with them. So that's hard to
Yeah.
do, in
Yeah.
that case. But,
Yeah.
the, the, the reality is that we can change our lives.
Hmm.
We really
And,
can.
and
And
we
change
can. I mean,
ourselves.
I mean, that might
That's,
even be
yes,
limiting what we see in the news, like turn it off or,
yes,
um,
I do.
walk away
Yeah.
from negative articles that you read or things like that. We have the power to do that, right?
We do, and honestly, I do. I haven't watched the news for years, and I have friends of mine that are like, "Well, you really need to get involved, and you really need to stop like living in this world like where everything's just so, so lovely." And I'm like, "Well, I'm happy here. I'm sorry, I'm very happy here, and you know,
Right.
I am not playing into that.
Right.
I'm just not
Yeah.
doing it."
Um,
So yeah,
we,
you're right. We do
right?
have that
We have a choice.
choice.
We often
Hmm.
hear living authentically. Um, Now you
Yeah.
live authentically, but how do we know we are living authentically?
Well, I will say, first off, that living authentically is not necessarily like always easy, you know,
Right.
but
Yes.
it becomes easier. It becomes easier. And what I mean by that is being true to yourself. Okay. Now, not at the expense of hurting, others, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. It's about you. So I think the first thing you have to do is decide. Decide and evaluate like what is it? What is it? And why am I perhaps not happy when I should be? And make that decision to be true to yourself, live authentically. So I think the first thing you have to do is make the decision to live authentically. Speak your truth, and then walk your talk, you know. And again, I would advise people to get involved outside of your environment, you know, to create balance in your life.
Hmm.
That's some of the other things I would say to do. Um, Join a service organization. You know, there's nothing like helping others. There
Yeah.
really isn't, and it makes you focus on less of what you're going through, perhaps. You know, and
Yeah.
it's helpful. So that's another thing that you can do to live authentically. But basically, the first thing to do is, you know, um, decide, and then allow yourself to be open to change. And allow
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. That's important.
You know.
People are always wanting to have immediate results, don't they? Um, and
They
sometimes
do. Hmm.
you really need time, don't you?
Yes, and at different times too. You know, and just how can I put it? Well, our lives change as we go. We go from being a child to a teenager. We go from being a teenager to a young adult. I am certainly not the same person I was. Hopefully, I've become a better person through life's experiences and through the lessons that life has
Yeah.
graciously given us.
Right.
The
Yeah.
good, the bad, the ugly, all of it has made
Yeah.
you who you are. And when you find yourself in a position where you're not happy, and it and a part of your soul is not being fed, then you maybe need to look at, are you living your life authentically? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, and how you can better do that.
Yeah.
You
Because you'll
know,
feel it. You'll feel
so
it in your body and in your heart,
yes,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
For me, I was constantly getting sick.
yeah.
I was constantly not feeling well and so forth. And there was no reason for that
Right.
physically.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
exactly.
emotional. It was because a part of my soul wasn't being fed, so to speak.
Um, Deborah, do you have any special rituals to begin and end your day?
I do. I wake up every morning, and I know this might sound cliche, but I do it. I I start my day in the energy of gratitude. I
Yes.
really do. I just before I get on the phone, before I do anything, I just start, and I'm aware of the energy of gratitude. I thank the Creator. I'm just grateful for my life. I truly am, and the people in it.
Yeah.
And I think that when you start the day like that, even though situations will come up and real life happens, the energy of gratitude brings more happiness into your life and helps you become stronger and keeps you strong, I should say. So that's what I do. And I every night I pray, and I send healing energies, and I end my day with gratitude.
It's beautiful. Deborah, we have run out of time. And yeah, go figure, huh? I have to say thank you so much for being on the show. And again, we are doing a four authors from the book Women Standing Strong Together, and Deborah is our second author. We have 2 more authors to go, and next month. So I just want to say thank you again, Deborah, for being here. And if you would like more information about Deborah Finley, please visit www.angel -ENERGY energy.org, on Facebook at Deborah Finley, Evidential EVIDENTIAL -medium MEDIUM. And many thanks again for being here on Yin Yoga Lifestyle, Deborah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I am so grateful, that you have us on, and you're going to love these women's stories. It takes a lot of courage, but the intention from the get-go, from the beginning was to inspire, open up dialogue, and help people. So thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you for your part in that.
You're so welcome. And for everyone listening, please go out and get that book. You can find it on Amazon, Women Standing Strong Together. Many thanks again. And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.